the AfterParty, Conversations with SpyParty Players. Today I'm joined by the entire Gold Division League for the SpyParty Competitive League. Wait, who exactly is here? Let's like run from top to bottom in the channel.
Hi, I am elvisnake. I am in Gold League.
Hi, I'm falconhit. I am also in Gold League.
Here, also in Gold League.
Well, I'm sensing a trend that's happening here. So I'm royalflush. I'm in Gold League, and probably shouldn't be.
And it's been 3 years since your last drink.
Oh,
It does sound a bit.
Hi,
royalflush.
That's Mrs.
Hi,
Flush
Royalflush.
cameoing on the afterparty.
And I'm scallions. Gold, surprise.
And I'm Sharper, and it is 4 in the morning.
Ow.
We appreciate your sacrifice for the sake of multinational scheduling.
It's
Have you
worth.
stayed up? Have you stayed up, or have you got up?
No, I got up, but I was stupid. I mistook the time zones and got up at 3, and I was like, damn it, where is everyone? And then I like checked the times, and I was like, oh god.
Lots of coffee.
But here we are, talking about the new 4th season of the SpyParty Competitive League, which I'm sure we're all very excited about. So how, let's get like a relative sense for our division, because I'm kind of new here. Like who got kicked up? Because I got kicked down from Diamond in the last season. Who rose to?
So I'll explain it for you. So me and falconhit came up. falconhit beat me twice but we rose together. It's and Elvis were all together and actually split games a lot in gold last season.
Allegedly.
Sharper, you're the person coming down from platinum.
And I'm a sort of weird exception that is still in gold, but probably should. I think I'm still in gold by proxy because I won some games by automatically. I think someone dropped.
Yeah, we lost Fearful Ferret last year.
That was it, Ferret, and so I hadn't played him because we missed our first one. We're trying to reschedule, so essentially I got 2 free wins, and I think I got one other win off my own Steam against. It was the very last game of the season. I can't remember who it was, but yeah. So I stayed. I thought I was going to drop, but I didn't. So
Yeah, I totally felt that imposter syndrome for the first like 3 seasons of being in Platinum League. I was like, I'm just here because I had like a large amount of games. I don't feel like I'm in this league, and then I like totally bombed in the last season. So I understand that feeling.
Yeah, I
it's,
know how that goes.
I've sort of been, because I've been doing I don't know how long you guys have actually been playing SpyParty. Because I started playing in about 2012. I think I was the very last batch of the closed beta, but I don't have an enormous game count. But I sort of drop in and out every few months, and then
Sure.
I'll disappear for like a year.
Yeah. I'm trying to play more now. I'm trying to like make it more consistent. Like Steph had this good piece of advice. She said if you can have some like small amount but consistently played, then that does you a lot of good just for like building good playing habits.
Smart.
That's good advice. Little and often.
I feel like I've been rusty every league, every time I come back to this, and I get into gold, and then I feel weird, and then I get better, and then I get rusty again. This is the first season where I feel like I'm good at being rusty, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
It's always a good place to be. I don't know. I need to play more games, but I'm kind of lazy. Also, I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire.
That's a great game.
Same.
Any carryover skills you think?
Nope, not at all. I need to play so many games. I remember last season, on the lead up to the SEL, I played like 200 games in a week,
Yeah.
and then that's when I felt like I was okay.
Yeah, season 2, I was streaming SpyParty every night, so I came in hot, but I don't stream anymore, and I'm super rusty too.
So
I shouldn't be rusty, but my sniper has gone to like behavioral just madness.
Gross.
So I need to like actually stop literally anything. Like I know we played Sharper and I low at you every game for like 10 games in a row for this scene.
idling, man, it's the best.
I think I'm the only person here that hasn't actually played the new update yet. With the
Ooh,
tutorial.
Oh, man, you gotta.
So I need to get back into it and pronto.
That's right. Stream it with commentary for Checker.
Yeah, I need to do some streaming stuff. I haven't got OBS or anything on my Mac, and I haven't got internet on my main PC because my network card is effed. So
Rip.
I need to sort that out.
So yeah, I wanted to get a sense like, does anyone here, because playing in like a competitive league for a video game is kind of like novel to me. I don't really do it for anything else, and that's what makes this like pilot exciting and fun. Like, are any of you like of a competitive sort? I'm kind of getting a sense or a flavor that we're not like the most competitive bunch.
Well,
I
I'm
think
not competitive.
I don't know, but personally, I think I'm relatively competitive. Probably comes from being one of 4 children with an older brother and a younger brother. But generally, I've never played sport, so yeah. I think in terms of playing, it's good for the game and good for the community because there's always a spike when there's a new competition, and I think people sort of get into a bit of a hyper, and there's a little bit of what's the word I'm after? When the Beatles were massive, what's the word I want?
A mania?
There's sort of mania about it when there's like a big competition going on.
Mhm.
And for this one that's coming up, because we sort of had SCL3 and that finished, and almost immediately the Summer Cup started. In fact, I think they might have overlapped. And then there's just been nothing, as far as I've seen. I've barely been in the lobby since then. So I think for a game like SpyParty, I think it's really good for it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I will tell a story though. So when I was in high school in a psychology class, they gave us a test for competitiveness, and I got 23 out of 25, so pretty competitive. He turns to me and goes, "Hey, what did you get?" And I go, "Well, no, what did you get?" And he goes, "I got 24." So I told him I got 25.
Okay, you are definitely competitive.
Yeah. How does a test for competitiveness work?
Yeah, that's a good question.
One of them, like the one that I didn't get full 25 of 25, was how willing you are to cheat. Really willing to cheat.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm competitive. I'm more like I'm obsessive, because usually I go through phases where I like really like something for about a year or so, and like this Spy Party is a multiplayer game, right? So usually I play single player games, so you can just obsess about that by yourself. But in multiplayer games, you need like someone else. And I was like, oh, I really like Spy Party, but I need someone else to play. And I was like, oh, SCL, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I really like about it is it's really easy just with the sort of life and stuff to like not set consistent routine for things that are competitive or require consistent effort. So having this sort of like meta structure around where it's like, oh, I promised I was going to play this thing weekly, that actually means I'm going to like have to play consistently, which is kind of like a useful boot up the backside to sort of get things moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the structure a lot.
With the new season, it's interesting because I kind of don't know, and maybe Chris himself doesn't know whether like new maps or features are going to be like landing in the game during the middle of the season. I'm interested. What do you guys think? If like a new map comes in and it's like the middle of the season, would you want to like keep it out of the league, or do you think it'd be kind of fun to like mix new features in as the league is going?
For me,
Sorry,
thanks. If it's like a new art version of an old map, I would be okay with it. But if it's a brand new map, I would probably want to hold off and see what meta develops before we thrust it into the middle of the league. But like if New Art Courtyard 2 comes out, hell yeah, throw that in there.
I'm still slightly perplexed at the level of arguments, if you like, the sort of micro level that people go to about discussing whether any 4 of 6 or any 4 of 7, or pick 4 of 6 is equivalent to any 4 of 7, or whichever way around it goes. And the sort of the micro level of argument and the banning system and the picking system, how it works. I get that some people are sort of better at some maps than others, and maybe I'm just not playing it on a deep enough level. But it does slightly baffle me. The arguments that I see on the forum and the debates about it, and ultimately it sort of it comes down to the fact is Kaylee going to do what Kaylee's going to do anyway? Kaylee does as Kaylee does, which is why every single season has come up, and I've said I do not understand why the winner of the league is not the winner of the league necessarily. And I think that's just a British thing, because in British sport leagues, if you win the league, if you win the Premier League football, you've won. But I guess that's sort of a big part of maybe of American culture, and that's where the Super Bowl comes from. Is it like the first and second players of the league are playing a big final match, and it's a big event. And to me, that's completely alien. And the idea should be, because I still maintain that it cheapens the league system if you can whitewash the entire league and then lose because you have a bad day on the final match. I don't know what you think of that, but
I mean, it kind of feels appropriate to SpyParty, the idea that you can do really well and then you can totally stuff it up at the end and just lose.
It feels wrong. It's to me that it works like that, and it cheapens the idea of having such a long league, a 10-week league, that you can then that can be undermined by, and likewise at the bottom where I have ended up on more than one occasion. It doesn't feel right that you can finish bottom of the league and still potentially stay in the league, because you then have a bit of a fluke at the end of it, or a double fluke.
Yeah, I had that too. I think for the first and second season, that's how I stayed in, and that for me did feel a little unfair. I was like, I didn't feel like I earned this.
I don't know. That happened to me the first season, and I thought it was really exciting. That was one of the best games I ever played, and I got to stay in silver because of it. It was cool. I don't know. Maybe it is like an American thing, but yeah, I think it was fair. Like, I don't think I did that much worse than Hummus did that year, and it was
Magician who went and then was at the bottom of the league, but was like fairly competitive the whole time with everybody in Diamond, and then went and beat Kletos, and then beat back to back in some really exciting sets. Like, I would say that absolutely, if we put him into the system, he absolutely deserved to be in Diamond. But the system, if it should be there or not, is a different question.
I mean, it's all politics at the end of the day, like sorting out what is the system that everyone wants, and there's always going to be compromise. So, given that, it's kind of impressive that we've democratically worked out something that more or less pleases people.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to have a system that makes everyone happy. We have a Wodar.
We love Wodar.
Yeah, no, Wodar's the best.
I feel like we've got some of the flavor of this, but how does everyone feel sort of going into this? How they're going to fare this season? Like, where's everyone's game feeling at currently?
It's not. That's my position on that. I haven't played since the Summer Cup.
I've played maybe 20 games in the last 2 months. I've basically regressed to a hard camper, so enjoy your free farts. And we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Anyone else?
Bitter bid. Yeah, my spy is good because I did the team tournament, and so me and Track, like, I only played spy for like 100 games. And my sniper is just regressed.
Yeah.
My sniper's awful. My spy is okay. I still have a good matchup against Noob because he apparently doesn't look at my stats and sees I have 305 spy timeouts out of 3,163 games. So 10% of my games I time out. So, yeah.
Duly noted.
Yeah,
Last-
okay. Don't
last
shoot
time-
scallions, got it.
Last time we played, did lots of fingerprints, and I'm like, what are you doing missions for? This is not fair.
Yeah, God, fingerprint is like invisible to me half the time. It's just like it's funny because I think that was the latest mission that came in, and it's still the one where I just forget that it's there.
Hmm. Even though Fingerprint came out however many years ago, it's still the new guy.
I still think of it as a new mission.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still don't think I've got my head around it yet.
Yeah, that's hilarious to me that we're still in that mentality. It's like could be 10 years and I was talking like, oh, fingerprint, that's pretty wacko. Oh.
Does anyone remember the days when you could Twitch flirt?
Oh, Twitch
Oh,
Flirt is
God.
cool.
I remember watching it
Yeah.
on Viri stream. Like, how many years ago was that? Like 5 years ago now? It was a long time.
No, I can't have been that
It was
long
like
ago.
four max, probably 3.
Yeah, 3
So I
years.
started in 2014, and the Twitch Flirt was in. I don't remember when they changed it. It was after I started playing, for sure.
Yeah, I don't miss it. I do think the game is better without Twitch flirting. It's just like a bit too cheap.
I've always thought that what he should have done is just have it so you have to land on another pad to reset Flirt. Like, Timer Flirt's alright, but I don't know. I'm not a game designer, so I'll let Checker do his thing.
Well, it's because the main, I think, sort of constraint or thing you're working with in Seduce is how much time you've got in the game overall, and so it's basically like a time management mission, and so there's like you can do it quicker, but then that's risking it being more overt. So you kind of think about like the whole trajectory of the game. It's like, okay, like I've left it late. I've only got 33%. That means I'm going to have to make this mission more like obvious if I'm going to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it incredibly noticeable when you do the tutorial, and people are going, I can't catch Flirt. How am I supposed to catch this? And then they go, oh wait, it's a spy mission. You have to spend literally the whole game trying to get this done. Especially when they're new and they really aren't like prioritizing it and don't have that pacing. That
I have to say, I don't know how to track Flirt like at all.
Oh, yeah, no, Flirt is free
I
mission.
don't think it's just new players. I just have not got a clue. I see lots of people talking. Oh, is he flirting? He might be. Don't know.
Yeah,
That's why I hate Balcony.
I remember
Yeah.
I remember playing someone and they sort of pointed out something useful is that it's more just paying attention to like who's around who, and then you sort of assume, oh, they could have flirted because I was like looking elsewhere. I don't know who was talking.
Yeah.
But just like, okay, I see these two people.
Red dress is next to General an awful. Orange dress is next to General an awful lot this game.
Yeah, maybe that's just a sniping style thing, but I'm not watching people, I'm watching hardtails.
Besides Balcony, I pretty much exclusively use Flirts as I think it's 50% this person will just watch what this person does and maybe figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, you kind of like get it like it almost feels like just reinforcing a cognitive bias.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
I think
exactly,
about
that's
this
what it is.
person, and so they could have flirted.
You have to have an excuse when someone asks why you shot them.
Yeah, exactly. That's
No,
what
I
Seduce is there for.
No, it just felt right.
Yeah, but why did it feel right, elvisnake?
Doesn't matter.
green arrow above their head.
I shot you
Okay.
because you were the spy, and that's what
Yes.
snipers do.
I've read that when I've played against somebody who will remain nameless. But I will. I'll shoot. I've shot them, and they will go, "Why did you shoot me?" And I'll say, "Because of this." And they say, "I didn't even do that." Oh, you had no business shooting me.
Yeah, right. They
I
get so
should
indignant.
have won that, and I'm like, "You're not. Are you Phil Hellmuth? You know, it's like
Yeah. Who
loss is
cares
a loss,
why?
a win is a win."
I shot the spy.
I can't remember. I think it was someone actually in present company that I got very upset with. I think it was our first game. It might have been Scallions. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't think it was what? No,
It
don't
was-
no.
no,
Take
it
us
wasn't
out.
that. It was
No.
different. No, it was a different thing. It was what I think you did your final mission, or someone did their final mission and then danced, and it was the very first game or the second game of the match, and I'd won the first game, and
That
then
made-
and then someone danced at the end, and I got
That kind
very-
of sounds like me.
Was that? I don't know why I thought it was scallions. It was someone did a dance at the end, and I missed them, and they won that, and it completely threw me out of kilter for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Was that you? I think I
Yeah.
sort of had to step away from the computer for 5 minutes before resuming.
Those games are rough.
Because that to me struck me as being a little bit cheap, and I can't remember what it was. It must have been a contact or something, and I got very cross because I said, "I know it's you, and you're dodging."
Bad news. Cheeky is like my status quo. If it's not cheeky, I'm not doing it.
Amen.
You're gonna have to, yeah, a level head against me because I'm gonna be doing stupid things like time adding 3 times. Don't worry about it.
I hate that. I can't watch for time.
It's sort of an alien. When I'm a spy, it's sort of an alien concept. I don't do it. I just assume I'm going to immediately get shot if I had time. Here's a question: when's the best time to add time?
Immediately.
Yeah.
All the time.
Anytime.
Anytime except the last 30 seconds.
Not 1 second.
At 1 second, get a green time ad, and then don't do missions.
Yeah, that will mess with people. They'll be like,
No, you
"What is
just
going
get a green time ad and then do the KCM fake victory beeps thing.
Wait, what's that?
That was a great one.
Yeah, I had been practicing that and I just couldn't pull it off. But KCM, he's a freaking legend.
Tell me more
so what he
about
did-
fake beeping.
Yeah, so he got a green time ad at the very end and then like waited a bit and then like hid in the corner and veranda and did like red time ads to simulate the like victory beeps, like the beep 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 beep. Like are just the spy
Oh my
finishes.
No way.
That's
Yeah.
high risk.
So clever.
Yeah,
It's legendary.
it almost worked too, but you know, Kaylee's on top of it.
Of course.
I remember. Kaylee said that a 0-0 tried to do the same thing. Or, no, a 0-0 tried to, like, add time, but repeatedly, but kept moving. Yeah, that's what he said. I remember.
Yeah, I had thought about doing that, but I just couldn't pull it off. But KCM, great execution.
Does that not feel like it's sort of exploiting the game? That feels like...
Dude, that's playing the game.
As long as it's not a pure bug, I will use it anytime.
Yeah, I mean that's just creative use of the systems, really.
I'm not sure I agree with it. I feel that feels a bit...
No, we're making Checker watch it as soon as he stopped being busy, which means
Never. Soon. Soon.
it's anonymous.
I don't know. It just feels like not playing the game. It's like there's another. I mentioned earlier. I've been playing a lot of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes recently. And I'm doing a lot of modding for it. And I've done quite a few mods for it recently. And one thing that seems to happen is that people make what they're calling cheat sheets for it. And my argument against it is that that's not how it was supposed to be played. And they say, well, we're just recompiling the same data that I'm assuming everyone is familiar with Catane. We're just recompiling the same data that's in the manual. It's just being viewed in a different way. And I said, but if it was designed to be viewed in that way, it would have been written in that way. And so it just strikes me as being a slightly wonky and a slightly janky way of earning a victory. And part of me is, if you want to win that much, and it comes back to the competitive argument, if you want to win it that much, then, whatever. But it strikes me as an unfair way of winning, exploiting what is arguably placeholder noises in the game. Because in my mind, it would, when the game is finished, soon, TM, there'll be like different sounds for everything, I would imagine. So that sort of exploitation wouldn't necessarily be doable.
So it's that like an argument from impropriety, like it's improper to win in this way because it's not how it should be conducted.
It feels like bad sportsmanship. I think that's probably the best way I could do it, and that's how I felt about the dancing at the end. It wasn't an illegal move, but it was poor sportsmanship. There's a hand. Just going back to the poker hand with Phil Hellmuth. There's a time where Phil Hellmuth was playing Tony G, and Tony G said, I haven't looked at my hand, and so Phil shoved all in when actually he had looked at his hand. It's not an illegal move, but it's just like really bad. It feels like poor sportsmanship, and it's not the right thing to do. I don't know if I'm unique in thinking that, or if.
No,
I think it.
Oh yeah, you go, Scallions.
Okay. I'll just say. I think it comes down to like the culture of it. Like I think dancing at the end of a game is an established thing, more or less. there are some snipers. There was one, I think Sign T was like from East Asia somewhere, didn't have a good internet connection, could only snipe because the internet wasn't good enough to spy. And like it was not fair to dance against that person because they could just not play the like reaction through the internet game.
As soon as you go down that road where you make an exception for one person because of reason X, then you're going down a dangerous path that says, well, maybe this person you shouldn't do against this person because they've got generally slower reaction time to being able to move their mouse, or because their mouse is or whatever. I just think it's a dangerous route as soon as you start making exceptions for certain stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a matter of it being like an exploitation of the mechanics. Like, the fact that he could only play sniper really is how do I say this? Okay, it's like that is making an exception for the person in just a different way, and that's not a problem with the game.
The exception too, like
it's first like sort of a handicapping system, like in like a golf style handicapping system that is. It gives other people an advantage based on a disadvantage they have, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's different in a competitive league, because you're right, in a competitive league, we don't do like, crazy different subsets to cover different skill levels we have. And that's sort of like one of those things that gets argued about a lot is like, what are the preset game times you can play? And it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
it's meant to be even for everyone, because supposedly, we'll see how this goes for our league. Everyone in a league is supposed to be roughly the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice in theory.
But no, like I think that is like a valid argument to bring up. It's funny though in this context though, because it almost feels like it is just a cultural difference. It's like, oh, like British impropriety, and the Americans are like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like the argument against dancing, I could see like it being not the way the game was sort of meant to be played. Like SpyParty is kind of more about figuring out who the spy is than about being able to like first-person shooter hit the spy. Like I can see that argument, kind of like going back to the Catane cheat sheet things. Like the whole point of Catane is you have to find the information in this obscure, hard-to-read manual. If you make it not obscure and hard to read, it's not quite the same. Like I get that.
Press X to complete game, sort of. It becomes it's not necessarily as straightforward as that, but it's moving towards a a pay to win syndrome. Press X to win, and there's an argument that actually you have worked out the spy, but you haven't shot them because they were dancing behind two taller characters, and they managed to do that for 5 seconds because you couldn't get to another position. You have done the part of that you were supposed to do as the spy. You just haven't been able to do it for this reason that wasn't quite how the game is supposed to be played. Because it's not. You're right. It's not a run and gun game. It's not Halo or Sniper Elite. It's not about. It's about working out from visual clues and audio clues and what you see who is the person, not can you shoot the person.
Personally, okay, go. You go.
No, you go.
All right. Okay. Personally, I really like dancing. Like theoretically, I'm not good at it, and I'm not good at shooting people when they do it. But for me, it like the issue that what differentiates it from something like the Catane thing is that it adds more depth just knowing that it exists. If the sniper just could like select the character from the bottom and say that person is now dead, the sniper would never have to worry about lining up the shot early enough before the spy could dance. And the spy could never have that as a fallback for other things. Like it's just another thing that we can do things with as humans, knowing that it exists.
Yeah, adding depth to the game is always good. Like the KCM thing, which I think set this whole thing off, like that's some depth right there. That is a hard trick to pull off because you have to like red time add Twitch at the perfect pace, and it's hard. Like that's not press X to win. That's do a complicated flowchart to still not get shot because you're playing against Crazy Kaylee.
Yeah, it's worth remembering that originally the game was like click to move, because Chris thought that, that's more strategic. You don't want to have like a person like worrying about how they control their spy. But then he realized, oh no, like that actually adds depth to the game, having this layer of moment-to-moment deliberate decision making.
Was it really click to move?
Yeah, because it was originally a Sims mod.
Oh yeah, back in the Game Jam days or whatever.
How long ago are we talking now? Because I think I first heard about SpyParty. It must have been like 2009.
Oh yeah. This was like way before closed beta. Even this is still while it was like super rough early days. But it was
Prototype.
yeah, just something you mentioned like in the beginning. He was like, oh, I should like add controller support if I want to put it on consoles. And then he was like, oh, this is just like how the game should be, because you get all those like neat extra benefits of. And it's one of the things that makes it kind of tricky in the beginning to learn, because like pathing is such like a tricky thing to understand as a new player. But that benefit you get of, oh well, like if you could be a super experienced player but still make the simple mistake of like missing a pad and having to like suddenly decide, okay, do I like stop and wait for a moment and then like walk away? Is that going to look less suspicious than if I just inch myself forward and hope that they didn't see it? Like all these little decisions that come out of that. And I think to Scallion's point, you get the same thing with sniping. Like I've had games where I could have gotten the person, but I like hear the overtime and like the panic of the moment gets me, and I like snap shoot and miss. And that feels kind of like appropriate to the feel of the game. This idea that under pressure you have to keep control and calm.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Spy purloin in front of my face and shot Damon in the SCL, and I didn't feel like that was unfair because I could have waited, but instead I shot Damon, and that was my mistake.
I'm gonna posit a hypothetical example that could add like a lot of crazy thoughts going between the spy and sniper. If the spy is like about finished, like they have just 3 seconds left on the clock, and the sniper thinks this might be true, and the spy just moves behind another civilian. Let's say the sniper has one other suspect, and they just need to shoot now. Do they risk just shooting the other suspect who's less suspicious because they didn't just hide, or do they try to shoot the person who's hiding, but they have a smaller chance of actually hitting that person? Like that's cool for me, knowing that the spy can try that, and the sniper will have to work with that.
That's interesting. I like that. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, it would come down to context, and like all of the variables would be different. But like that's cool to me.
Cool. Fellas, I'm afraid I'm going to have to bail early from the conversation. Much as I've enjoyed it, I've got to go and have some food with the family.
Well, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your
Bye,
food.
Flash.
Thanks so much, Flash.
And I look forward to hearing the rest of the conversation in due course.
Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
I was going to say actually that was actually all the material I had for the conversation. So did anyone else have something they wanted to talk about?
Quick takes. So for Diamond, does Kaylee win or does the field win? Would you bet on Kaylee or would you bet on anybody else?
I bet on Kaylee.
Yeah, probably Kaylee.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, because like Kaylee has super ridiculous workload being big time lawyer man, and I'm wondering if like I don't know if he's like still humanly able to like keep on top of practicing and like maintain a job and everything else. So I don't know, like maybe a like upcoming person in Diamond will like take the crown. I don't know.
Only
Can
upcoming
you
person
really
is-
bet against the champ?
I mean, it's always possible. He's rusty now. He's big time lawyer man, but he's got all season. He's. I think he can pull it off.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm just a Kaylee fanboy, but I think he can do it.
I think we all are.
I will say Kaylee until Paris gets into Diamond.
Well, then it gets interesting. But I don't know. We'll see.
Diamond is going to be so scary this year. It's going to get scarier if Pierce goes up.
Yeah.
We're finally
I
getting to
will-
that point.
Generally terrifying.
I'm
So
not
glad
playing
he's
it
out
much.
of gold.
Like how terrifying is he?
So the problem that Piers runs into that you don't have to play against with anybody else. If you're playing against someone like Kaylee, you know what you're gonna run into. He's gonna if you play Bloom, you gotta be perfect on your mechanics, or he's gonna shoot you. Same with Bacon, same with KCM. They're all very stereotypical. Piers, just one day he decides to be a camper. The next day he's shooting you for conversation stuff, and the third day he's shooting you for behavioral, just you flirted, and like there's no way to play around it. And then his spy is very clean because he knows everything because he does it on the sniper side.
He's just kind of an unstoppable juggernaut. I don't even know what to say.
It's very weird playing Pyrrhus because
Yeah.
I personally have like anti-Pyrrhus like stuff that I do, but then I know that when I do it once, I can never do it again.
Yeah,
because then you'll know.
It's like the Borg. He adapts.
Like one time I was Freeman, and I did what was it? I went to a conversation, instantly talked, went to get a briefcase canceled, went back to the same conversation, and then instantly talked again, and I knew he was gonna give me a low light for that. And then after the game, I got a low light, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw exactly what you did, and I thought about not low lighting you, but then I didn't think you could do it."
That's a backhanded compliment.
And then I knew that I could never do that ever again because he would know that I could do that.
You have to keep him honest. And the problem is, I have no clue what precisely that means anymore. But you have to be so you're doing that
You have to chain like two really good things, not like oh yeah, I can see an AI doing that, but you have to do two like really good things back to back, or else he will not give you any credit.
It's really annoying because you get the hardtail. Like when I was playing against him in the team tournament, really strong, just like hardtail bugs or whatever, and he didn't see him, and then he shot me for like not talking, and I'm like, that's so annoying.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard for me to contextualize because I was like his first SpyParty mentor when he was like first learning the game, but
Oh wow.
he's so much better than me now. It's terrifying.
One thing about Pyrrhus. No, okay, you go this time.
No. All I had to say was that's cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, you did go first. I feel good. I feel warm inside. Okay, so Pyrrhus like moved up real quick, and he's just like really quickly like still getting better, but he's still like young in the game, so he's still. If you can get him on tilt, then like the inconsistent ways he plays will not necessarily be like strong and consistent ways to play. So if you just like somehow win 2 games in a row, he will not be like he'll be second guessing everything too. I don't know how to win those first 2 games. I just know that can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he suffers from competitive nerves sometimes, but I mean, who doesn't really?
Yeah, that's kind of the fun of competition, isn't it? Like that added pressure. It's like you subject yourself to it intentionally because it feels exciting.
Yeah, it's that adrenaline rush.
Cool.
I mean, like I freak out when I'm playing Pyrrhus because I'm playing Pyrrhus, so I just have to act more confident in addition to playing like a solid game. It's scary for me.
Fake it till you make it, man.
Yep.
Bit of a non sequitur here, but about 4 years ago, I had a cardiac arrest. Like my heart just stopped. I'm obviously alive. I made it, and so because I wasn't working for a bit of time, I went and picked up this game as my the game I was playing during my recovery, which is a terrible idea. This game is so stressful.
SpyParty, really?
Oh man.
That gives you a heart attack.
So I try not to take anything too seriously, and it really comes out well because I just end up playing the same way that I play casually, and casually
Yeah, it makes sense. I always do my best when I'm not playing like it's competitive. When I'm just playing like I'm playing SpyParty, it's just hard to get in that mindset for me.
Yeah, it's like easy to relax. Actually, before we close, then that's like a question to go down from like top of the channel to the bottom. What do we think our biggest weakness is in our SpyParty play? For like spy or sniper.
Okay, that's easy. I am really terrible at all behavioral stuff, so I'm a hard camper, but I'm also really bad at watching microfilm, so you could basically easily win against me. Just do microfilm. And also I can't watch time ahead. And as far as spy stuff goes, that is harder for me to quantify, but I'm rusty, so just, my mechanics will be bad. Enjoy. Free wins.
On sniper, I notice the AI doing like a lot of like weird things sometimes, and then I usually follow the AI, and then until they do something like I'm confident it's AI. But in that time, you can do like whatever you want because I am just like looking at this AI like, is this guy an AI? And then I would think, yes, it's an AI, but I don't know what happened in the rest of the party. So yeah, and on Spy, I just don't keep track of like a lot of stuff. Like on bigger maps, I just don't. I should whenever I BB keep track of. Sorry, on Spy when I BB, I should keep track of who's outside of conversation so that I know that if I try to frame someone later, they weren't like outside of conversation. But I just don't do that stuff. Also, completing missions is a struggle every time.
So Falconhit is lying. He's a top 5 of like people who are actually paying attention when they're playing Spy and looking at things with fingerprints. Finishing missions is definitely his biggest weakness. Don't let him lie to you.
10% timeout rate.
Yeah, that's
Only behind in the leaderboards, only behind Drawn, who has 3 times more games than I do, and Bacon.
Okay, but is 10% timeout rate more or less than Checker's timeout rate?
Let me check.
That's not fair.
Yeah, no, that's not fair. Let's not check.
I have the graphs. It's Falconhit and then Bacon. I'd probably Drawn on there but he has so many more games as like the top 3 in SPL. Biggest weakness in like a big sense for me, especially competitively, is I'm either calm and collected and my Spy is really good, or I'm jumpy and my Sniper is really good. But I can never really piece them together because going between like highly caffeinated and being like keeping my my heart rate low, I can't go back and forth between Spy and Sniper, and I wish I could, but it's like possible. In a small, precise sense, I make so many shots of people going to a briefcase. I don't acknowledge the briefcase is there. Statue, I'm like, that's not how you do statue, and then they're just picking up a briefcase and they're already dead because I shoot way too.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
So, listening to this, I'm guilty of every weakness mentioned so far except the calm and collected thing. I've never been calm or collected playing this video game. I think, and like Rust is a big thing. Like I don't know a lot of the new stuff. Like Purloin is still a foreign mission to me. I think my biggest weakness right now is just nerves. I take all of these cocktail party people really seriously, and I feel bad about shooting them or like doing missions in front of a laser when there's a laser and there's a laser. That's how the game works. So I usually won't time out. I'll just add time and get shot for it. But
yeah.
It all comes down to that area of things for me.
Well, at least that's doing something. I feel like that's more honorable than timeout. It's like, hey, at least you did something. Yeah, for me,
I'll take it.
Take it. For me, I think my biggest sniper weakness is I'm really forgetful. And this is sort of like meta I try to keep in mind for like timing of doing hard tells. But like if someone does a hard tell or something that I feel is suspicious early on, by like midway or most of the way through the game, I'll have forgotten about it as sniper just because like other stuff is jumping through my head, and then I'll like lose and go, oh, I like totally forgot that I did see that thing, but it just like went in one ear and out the other. And then as spy, like I don't go on tilt so much, but that like paranoia of thinking that something I did was seen will then lead me to become more like reckless after that. And I'll be like, well, I made anyway, I might as well like do this instead of thinking, you know, oh, like if I think I made, I should be more conservative and like not be stupid. So those are my big weaknesses, I think.
Yeah, I think as a division, generally, except for Falconhit, and this is probably why he's the favorite in my mind, is everybody gets to a point where it's like a minute 30 left in the game, and they go, oh, wait a second, I need to do something. I think Royal,
that's where I shine.
That's where Elvis, Scallions does that, but it's more like 45 seconds left. All of us and myself, we all just like go, wait a second, I need to Purloin, I guess, because Toby's here.
Oh wait, this is any 5 of 8. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, that's the best. Like I had that happen yesterday where I was like playing with someone. I was like, okay, I like perfectly timed this. It's like 10 seconds. Did my last mission, and then I like, didn't even read the thing at the end. I thought, oh yeah, I like just made it, but it was like, oh no, you only did 3 missions, and it was 4.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of I've been thinking of doing a full write up of my weaknesses for the old how to beat me at SpyParty forum.
Oh yeah, that's a good thread.
I posted like a fake one a while back. This is just shoot orange dress, which is also legitimate, and that is another of my weaknesses. But that was all I put, and I'll give you all the cheat sheet. Look, keep an eye out.
Excellent. Yeah, oh yeah, and I forgot my biggest weakness, which of course is I just love to shoot civilians. So just don't do anything, and you'll win.
Yes, my biggest weakness is I am a psychopath.
Yeah, just feed the snake, it'll be fine.
So, any last things that people want to say, or can we like call it and let me go back to sleep?
Good luck, y'all. Let's
That's
have
right.
let's have a good season.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
Yep. Good luck. I'm not as good as Noob says I am. Not
I'm
now,
not.
anyways. Maybe in a few more games.
I'm not
I
as good
suspect,
you,
as we
Tom,
mentioned
as you.
earlier, yeah, me and Falconhit, it's been really competitive between me and Falconhit. He's beaten me in the finals, but I think I actually might, like in the regular season, I might be doing better. But this is going to be really competitive. I know from just like playing you guys on a like casual sense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our games.
These are all players I go like 50-50 or close to against. It'd be fun to play competitively.
I'm just glad that Fearful Ferret and Piers are out of my league. That was rough last year.
Literally.
That was rough.
But yeah, to Poon's point, I totally feel that way too from like playing you guys, that it does feel like even neck and neck, and that's what makes it really fun, because nothing's more so like demotivating than playing someone who's like way above you or way below you. It feels like most exciting when it's 50-50 and like clinching for the
Absolutely.
one win.
Oh, one more Paris thing. He's the type of player where you've done contact, inspect, and fingerprints, and you're thinking, should I do flirt or should I do bug? And then oftentimes I think this, and bug is usually the better option. God,
Oh,
I
yeah,
hate
you're
playing
short on
against
time.
them.
You don't want to flirt.
No, like, I've got one flirt left, and I'm thinking, do I do flirt or do I do bug?
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny.
And I've legitimately thought bug is 100% the right option.
Oh yeah, bug is always the right option. Bug is the best mission in the game.
Over single flirt.
Oh yeah.
Because I know he will shoot me for it, and then it would be a disaster.
Yeah, because he's gonna see you talking. If he doesn't see you bug, then you win.
I'm gonna
That's
argue that
exactly right. He's the type of player that I like sneak a flirt and run away, and then I feel happy. Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming. I'm like really happy that we managed to get like the entire division in. That was super cool.
yeah, represent.
Woo! All right, go
Cool.
Gold.
All right, let's go for gold.